The easiest beginner's guide to Rainbow Six Siege.
Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're watching this video, I'm gonna assume that you're pretty new to Rainbow Six Siege. And in this video, I'm going to give you some tips, which I wish I had as a newcomer in the—
Let me give you some tech right now. I'm a champion, ex-Challenger League player. I played this game for the longest time. I can still get a champion whenever I want. The biggest tips I can give to any new player is when you're defending, roam more. Stop staying in sight. When you stay in sight, you don't learn anything new. You need to learn the map more and the bomb sites and where people are coming from on attack. When you're on attack, get in the building faster. I know it's scary to enter a room you don't know, but just use the drone 2 rooms ahead each time, but move faster on attack. Nothing good is going to happen if you're just crouch walking everywhere. Challenger League and DoorDash.
this game to help me understand maps more, my movement, aim, and let's get into this. So firstly, I'm going to cover operators. I'm not going to take too long in this because I've said this before, and I don't really have to go too deep into this anyway. Of course, every operator has a unique ability. There's so much to learn. I can't explain it to you all in this video. I have another video talking about what every operator does if you want to check that out. But your best way to learn is by playing them. However, if you're brand new and you're struggling to start, I recommend starting with Sledge on attack and Capcan on defense. Both these operators have easy to control weapons, very understandable gadgets, and they're going to be a good starting off point for you. But the first major point I want to talk about are maps. Rainbow Six Siege has a pretty big pool of maps to choose from.
Also, to add on to that, operators wise, you can pick Doc. I mean, the healing operator in every FPS, like Sage and Valorant. And Call of Duty, I'm sure the armor pack is the easiest one too, but Doc is so easy to play.
All including destructibility, which makes them unique compared to pretty much any other FPS. Now, maps are going to be something which you're going to have to learn over time. You're going to die.
Yeah, Scott, Joey edits my videos.
You're not going to understand the layout. It's going to be confusing. And I will use the advice that just simply playing it will be the best way to learn. However, Ubisoft have also recently introduced a small mode called Map Drill. This is a pretty good little training exercise which will just basically—
Dude, I miss T-Hunt. What do y'all think? Should they bring T-Hunt back, yes or no? I feel like playing on real maps with people who actually walk is key instead of stationary people. And the bomb mode was so much easier because with the target drill, I have to run across the entire map to shoot one person, and it's kind of annoying. I know in regular T-Hunt, yes, you would have to get that last T-Hunt guy at the very back, but that's after you killed so many, you know? And I don't know, I just think the bomb one just warmed me up better. In TDM, bro, you deal with people who are spawn peeking, and the spawns are just so random, it's frustrating. Also, matchmaking can be long too.
Tell you the name of a room, and it will show you how to get there. This is a pretty fast little exercise, and if you do it enough, you will start to get your
Otherwise, yeah, training grounds is good for the game.
bearings on a map. However, what works best for me when it comes to learning new maps is going into a custom game and pretty much doing a site setup.
I ain't gonna lie, gang. No new players doing all that. No one going to a custom game and doing site setups. They want to play the game. But I will say, maybe later down the line, yes, it is good to go into a custom game. But bro, they barely even know to make a hole between the site.
By myself and looking for what strats I could use. I done this for the—
Whoa, what are those holes, bro? Are we recreating my schlong after getting the Athieno chart that you guys can get by subscribing with Twitch Prime?
brand new map layer. I made an entire video of me doing it live, and this just helped me learn the maps so fast. So when it comes to learning the layout of the map, I do recommend simply playing them, the map drill mode, and going into a custom game. And
bro, what about playing the actual game? But I understand, yes, it is good, but realistically, I don't think any player would want to do that.
Just sort of messing around with it and finding your own setups. That will help you learn fast. However, there's another major aspect of maps in this game, and that is callouts. Every single room in Rainbow Six Siege has a name to it. If you look at the compass at the bottom of your screen, whenever you enter a room, it will tell you the name of that room.
W-tip,
and a very helpful
compass.
little tip is when you ping a location using your yellow ping, it will actually tell you the name of that room in which you have pinged. So if you're maybe playing with friends and you're struggling to call out, just ping the room that your drone is in.
Yeah, but then you get the instance of he's on ping or he's right there. But the G ping, like the ping marker is used in any game though, to be fair.
Or just look at the compass below you and you'll get the name of the room. And once again, simply playing is going to be a great way to learn this. Failure is the best teacher. Someone giving you a call out that there's an enemy in drum, for example, and then you die from that enemy, at least you know where drum is now. And the more experience you get, you'll start to get even more precise callouts. For example, on top floor Nighthaven Labs, this room is called server. However, if someone's playing behind this middle bit and I want to be more precise, I'll say that someone is playing behind the pillar. This is something you're going to naturally pick up the more you play this game. And when it comes to callouts, you're definitely going to learn more if you play alongside people or have people on your team giving you callouts in return. You pretty much bounce off of each other. But I definitely think as a newcomer, looking at your compass and using that as just your starting point to learn callouts is going to go such a long way. Trust me. Right, let's move over to aiming. A lot of people always click on these videos like, this is how you get no recoil in Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, download Cronus. What you want to do, guys, go to your Logitech scripts and go ahead and add 0 recoil. Fuck. Dude, people have asked, is scripts cheating? It's just recoil though, it's not aim lock. How smooth can your brain be, bro? Yeah, we might have to hire new mods, bro. If you've been a mod in someone else's chat, let me know. I'll make you mod right now.
This is how I have no recoil on controller, XYZ. And I'm going to be honest with you, there isn't a secret hack. Just because Shaiko uses this sensitivity on PC or Jinxie uses this one on console, doesn't mean it's going to instantly make you good as well. At the end of the day, sensitivity is purely preference. I personally play on a really low sensitivity on PC. Instead of making small movements with a higher sense, I like making large movements with my hand all across the mouse pad with a lower sensitivity. That's just what I like. But if you play on PC, you might be the complete opposite. Same with controller. Some people like high sensitivity, some people like low sensitivity.
I will say, if there is 3 things I could also give to a new player for your settings to instantly make you better. Number 1, get off 60 FOV because it makes it, it just zooms in your screen so much and it's harder to aim. You want more peripheral view. 2, you can stay on 16:9 like native res, but I would recommend stretching it a little bit just since player models are a little bit easier to hit and see. And then last, lower your sensitivity. Bro, I rarely ever see anyone have too low of a sense. It's so high because the recoil and their aim is so off. They also need to go into advanced ADS settings and create a separate sense for aiming down.
You can use these other creators and pro players as a starting point, and you may like them.
But yeah, chat, what's a goated aspect ratio?
They're one, but at the end of the day, it's just what you get comfortable with, and it's also sticking with one. You're not going to be great with a brand.
I've gone through probably 3 different aspect ratios. I used 4:3 a little bit in Challenger League. Then I went to 16:10 for a little bit. I'm on it right now again, but I was on 3:2 for at least 2 or 3 years straight.
New sensitivity instantly. You're gonna have to get used to it. Yes, use all these different videos and other players as a starting off point, but don't let that judge what you use and how you should use it. Just because you use a different sensitivity than this #1 ranked player doesn't mean that his sensitivity is better than yours. So once you have gotten a sensitivity pinned down, let's move on to aiming. Now, you lot are so lucky nowadays that there's so many different avenues for you to learn the gun.
Dude, look how easy the 1.5 was back then.
Play in Siege. Back when I started, you only had the current modes of, casual and rank. So if I missed that shot on the enemy player, that was me out till the next round. Well, nowadays, Rainbow Six Siege has a team deathmatch mode. This has no operator gadgets and there's respawns on. It's a fun little arcade casual mode, but this is absolutely incredible for training and learning your aim. Because if you miss a shot and you die, oh well, you respawn 2 seconds later and you can do it again. And the fact that you're going against other real people means it's going to be an accurate representation of what movement's going to be like in your live games. You can go into the shooting range and test against targets and the moving balls, which is similar to Aim Lab. And don't get me wrong, those are still good aim trainers. However, there's just something about the arcade modes playing against other people which just makes it.
I'd say where you're shooting bubbles and other things of that nature, it's more to get your muscle memory back. Like when you just get off work or school, you're gonna be a little rusty. You need some lube on your hand to like some sweat on your hand to get that grip the mouse, you know what I'm saying? Blue think of the tier 1, Apollo think of the
and
Bron.
this is a lot of people's preferable way to just even warm up before they play ranked. If you're a bit unconfident about your aim, play some TDM for a bit before you then start going into ranked matches. And also relating this onto the map point, this is also really good for learning maps as well. Now, not every map is in TDM or free-for-all or weapon roulette, whatever mode you play, but the maps that are in it are typically ones that are in ranked, and this is a great way to just get your feel for the layout as well as training your aim. Now let's move over to movement, another pillar you need to learn. There's going to be a few things I'm talking about. Firstly, let's talk about crouching, walking, and sprinting. A big mistake which even I make and a lot of people in high elo make is that they'll just sprint for no reason. For one, sprinting emits a lot of noise, which is going to give away your position, and if you're sprinting and you come across a gunfight with another player, it takes a little bit of time to get your gun up again and readjust it.
I say sprinting is good if you are confident in, like when you're in a fight and you need a zigzag between cover, that's fine. Like if you die sprinting, it is what it is, but like sometimes you can like kind of catch an enemy with their pants down by getting to an area quicker, which is by sprinting. But sprinting into a room without being cautious of any angle, that's where it's bad. So if you sprint with caution, then you'll be fine. Also, I would say my tip for crouching and standing, I remember hearing this one time when I was playing in FPL. One like pro player told me, he's like, most of the time you should be standing about like 95% of the time, even in fights. You can crouch maybe like once or twice sometimes, just change your head level mid-fight, but that's more at a level where it's like gunfights are literally down who can land the first shot, like the first 1 to 2 shots. If you're gonna hold an angle, hold it extremely tight, and when you see the player, it doesn't even like this aim head level. When you see the pixels change on the screen, you see the shadow enter the frame, shoot 2 or 3 bullets, crouch, and get out. Like press your crouch button and your shoot button at the same exact time. It will prevent you from getting pre-fired.
Really fast, you know the area is clear and you just want to
Don't hold an angle, hold me.
Progress to the next one with speed. With a bit of common sense, you will understand when you should and shouldn't sprint. However, the main time I recommend never sprinting is when you simply don't know what's ahead of you. You don't have to be ready for a gun thing, which is going to take time. You'll start to get that make mistakes. As a defender, your goal is to protect the 2 bomb sites.
I'm interested to see the setup.
Bomb sites are just
arguably, I'm one of the best people to set up site. Arguably, in creators, of course, R6 creators.
1 room apart. Sometimes there'll be a hallway, and in some other cases, they can actually be above and below each other. And reinforcing is a big part of Siege, but you want to make sure that you're not reinforcing between sites. The whole point in reinforcing is to make sure that wall cannot be shot through, and basically blocking people from entering it. And you don't want to limit the access between your 2 bomb sites, because if you cut the rotation out between both of them, that means attackers are going to be able to claim one of them very easily, and there's not really going to be much fighting back from the other side, especially if the 2 bomb sites are...
That's one underrated tip, guys. If you're a new player, I know it's really hard to find out, but as you go on, you'll hear the term take gaps. If a bomb site is free, which is very, very common in silver and below because no one's really actively holding it, do not be afraid to sprint in and force a fight on the enemy, because if they're not holding it, they're not going to contest you on it. If they're not going to contest you on it, that's an easy plant down for you.
Connected with a hallway, for example, if you reinforce both of them off, you're limited to that hallway, which attackers can then pin down. And I know I'm teaching you that you need to use reinforcements to basically barricade the 2 bomb sites whilst having a rotation, because then you're going to start exposing angles which can be used against the attackers. There's a lot of strategy involved with a bunch of different walls, but just make sure you're communicating with your teammates.
Dude, I always see, you can communicate here and there, but a lot of people say making these site setups in low elo is bad. I disagree, because the whole point of the setup is to make gunfights easier and contesting easier for you. It's actually harder if you barricade everything up, unless you're playing a very bunker strat, which is situational, probably like one time a map. You are actively making yourself an easier target, like a fish in a bowl.
It's when reinforcing, especially if you're not queued with them. Some of them might be wanting to do a specific strat, which includes opening holes in walls instead of reinforcing them, and you're going to reinforce.
Yeah, but if you see your castle or like someone opening up atrocious holes, reinforce that shit. Like clog that shit up, bruh.
Them and probably annoy them. Communication is key in this game, and that also is a big part in preparation as well. I'll give you an example just to explain it a bit better. Let's use top floor and bank. It is very common to see holes on the wall by the top square staircase. Now, if you're a new player, you're probably thinking, why would I not reinforce this off? This will slow down the attacker's push, as well as providing me cover, especially since attackers can just walk through that door at the top of the staircase there. And yes, that way of thinking is correct. Reinforcing this wall would give you more protection. However, on the flip side of this, making head holes here means us, as the defenders, in the comfort of our own site, can pressure anyone who is now trying to enter at the top of the staircase. This now means that instead of them being...
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, out of my 10 years playing the game, I've never thrown a smoke grenade like that.
...able to take control of this since the walls are reinforced and they don't have to worry about anyone in the wall, they just have to focus on the hallway and the bottom of the stair, holding very tight angle. The attack is no right or wrong, but there's definitely stuff that people prefer doing. Right, that is set up and prep for the defenders. On the attacker side, your goal is to use a drone and gain intel on the enemies. This is intel such as the site location and what defenders they brought. But a big mistake a lot of people will do is they'll just drive their drone straight into the bomb site, get it destroyed, and be like, I found the bomb site and I detected they had like a warden and a Jaeger. I done my job. And yes, you did do something correct, but if you're going to go into the site and see what defenders they have and everything, I recommend only really doing it with one of the people on the team, and the 4 other drones which are available, they're at the other side of the map setting up cameras for them when they go into the prep phase they can use to get access to the building. You know, what is the point of everyone putting their drone in sight where you can be strategic and place drones all the way into your entry point, so then when your team is going to enter, you can go, okay, I've got
pre-place drones is very important.
Support operators, you've got entry frag operators, you've got some flex operators.
You do not need a main operator in Siege. That is a myth. You don't need an operator, a main on attack and defense so you can go with them. You need play whoever you want. But if you are a beginner, I would recommend about get a handful of 4 to 5 different attackers or defenders that you unlock and you like their gun and their gadget feels natural to you. If you play an operator and you play them for a few times and you don't really like their gadget, you're probably not meant for that operator. Play someone else.
As well, but it's just making sure that you're going to do an operator which is best for your task. If you're a defender, let's say you're going to go on a roam. You're going to cause some issues to the attackers, try kill some time, maybe take a few enemies out. Well, then you're much better going operators such as Vigil. His gadget makes him invisible to drones during his active period. That means it's going to be harder for them to find you, and it complements the role that you're playing. Whereas an operator such as Wamai, for example, his magnets, which catch projectiles that are thrown by the attackers, come to him over time, meaning that he has to stay alive if he wants to get the most out of his gadget use. So there's not really a point in going Wamai then roaming, because all that utility in his pocket, which is just waiting to be deployed, is going to be useless because
I feel like all these operators there's operators that you want to keep alive for the last minute of the round, which is most of it is plant denial. Otherwise, you don't really need to worry too much about keeping a gadget alive all the time, because most of the time gadgets are 90% of the time placed down by the time the round ends, and then if you die, it doesn't really matter too much as long as your ability is down, if you're a bandit or a Cade. But if you're someone who's actively needs to be aware, like a two-brow, because you're trying to Cade trick the wall, then yes, you're gonna want to stay alive for that. But yeah, don't be afraid to die. Don't be afraid to die too much when you're first beginning out, because even if you do somehow perfectly win a round, you're gonna learn a lot more by losing anyways.
He's either gonna A, die outside of sight, or B, be pretty late by the time he gets back.
And
a lot of those gadgets which he has could have been useful before. So it's definitely just making sure that if you're going to play this role, you are equipped for it. If you're gonna go run away from sight, it'll have the primary hard breacher. Yes, there's going to be a loss either way, but one of them...
Okay, let me give you all the operators you need for every attack to be successful. Number 1, you need a hard breacher. You need someone who can open up those metal walls, so that way you can get a better angle into sight. 2, you need 2 people with grenades or explosives. You'll eventually figure out who this is. Ash, Fuse, Sledge grenades. This way you can destroy a lot of gadgets and traps that are in sight without having to peek yourself. The last 2 can just be people with... either flank watch or just another good gun. More soft breach or flank watch is good, or even more grenades. Really, you just need a hard breacher every round. Rest, you can play whoever you want. Oh, also, EMPs. EMPs are the, obviously the ones that disable the gadgets. That helps a hard breacher, but you can figure that out. But that's really all you need.
The game will force you to learn, and if you're not up for that, then you picked up the wrong game. So yes, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I really hope this video did help you.
Yeah, W videos, the kudos. But yeah, guys, overall end thoughts of Beginner's Guide to Siege. On defense, roam more. Stop camping in sight. Don't be afraid to die. Number 2, don't be afraid to die again. Get in the building faster. You'll realize a lot of people are also lost and not wanting to immediately challenge you in a gunfight. You know, like when you load into a lobby and there's just that one dude who's just killing everyone? Be that person. Be that person who uses drones, takes the gap. If it's clear, you full send it, and it's as easy as shooting as someone in the back of the head, which is literally what will happen. So don't overthink your gunfights too much. If you're not confident in yourself, there's literally no way you're going to get at this game. It's a video game. Don't be afraid. But hey, W videos of kudos, guys. Just go subscribe to him. Subscribe to him, like the video, and comment below if this video gets on the on my second channel. Let's go for 1,000 likes on this video. I will do a beginner guide on my main channel and make my own beginner guide off of my knowledge, 10 years of playing the game.